What do I get the people to do that?
Yeah.
There are three primary avenues that my targets come from. The first avenue is referrals of my existing customers. Mm-hmm. And I have no qualms about asking my customers for referrals. I will even give them discounts on my work for a referral. And, you know, some people are, I know there are some people who are nervous about that. They say, well, it shows a weakness, or it shows your customer that you need business. Well, that's true. I do need business. So let's, you know, put it on the table. I don't know what else to say. So referrals are a big part of it. The second part is I try to give speeches, just like this. Now, am I expecting anybody here to buy anything? No. No. But, you know, in 6 months, you never know. I gave a speech, and Pat's heard this story before. I gave a speech to a group of chief financial officers that are in transition. First thought is, what do you want to give people without jobs a speech for? Well, because guess what? Someday they're going to find a job. So I got to know about 3 or 4 of them. 6 months later, I got a call from one of them. Mark, you still do business plans? Yep. I'm the new CFO of Turner Construction. Would you like to meet the CEO? I said, I think I can find time. So that's the second way. The third way is I try in my 25 meetings to at least have some kind of networking within it, whether it's just to go to a luncheon with a group, and there are more networking and meetup events in the world today than you'll ever find in your life. They're all over the place. You go online to either chamber meetings where there's business card exchanges, you go online to get-togethers, and they are there. You can find the subject you want to talk about, the geographic area you want to be. And I usually find that many of them are, you know, 5:30 to 7:30 in the evening, some kind of a get-together. And I go to these meetings and I have one goal. And my goal is to basically get a breakfast, lunch, or dinner, or breakfast, lunch, or coffee with at least one person in there. Now, I'll go to some of these networking events and I'll ask people, I say, well, what's your goal when you go to a networking event? Well, my goal is to get my business card handed out. Well, I mean, we can go to Times Square and get your business card handed out. You don't need to go to a networking event for that. So I try to set a goal. What do I want to accomplish at that? And what I want to accomplish is I want to get a meeting with one person. I don't, you know, and sometimes that happens in 5 minutes. Sometimes it takes me an hour to kind of get to know someone. Because, you know, it's not a very comfortable scenario. You're holding a plate of shrimp in one hand and a vodka tonic in another hand. You know, how am I going to get a meeting going? So what I try to do is I'm just trying to get one meeting going on. That's all I'm trying to set up, is just one meeting. So those are the 3 areas I do. Is I do my networking. I find people from anywhere I can, you know, connections to somebody. I'm trying now, I'm moving into trying to move social media. One of the reasons that Pat has helped me here is because I'm changing my website and putting a little bit more of my speaking engagements on there. One of the areas I go, let's see, 3 weeks ago I spoke in Atlantic City at 3 workshops for the Northeast Pool and Spa Association. Well, someone said, well, how'd you get that? Well, you go online and you can read the calendar for Atlantic City Convention Center, and it lists all of the various associations and conventions coming in. And thanks to the website and the world of internet, they're so nice because now they put the name of the event manager, their email address, and their phone number on there. Isn't that handy? So I write, you know, usually every week or 2 weeks, write like five kind of an email template. Wrote 5 emails. Interested in a free non-technical workshop on communication skills or goal setting. So of the 5 or 10 that come back, I might get 2 responses. Sure, send us some more information. Okay. Of those 2, maybe 1 might be interested. This particular association 2 years ago had said to me, we'll keep your letter on file. I figured sure. And lo and behold, a year later she called me and she said, interested in giving 3 workshops for me. And I was able to speak to 250 small business owners exactly in my target area they were about $10 million companies that put in pools and spas throughout the Northeast.
That's great.
So it's not a matter of anything except just trying to find the easiest ways to get it done. See, as a single entrepreneur, I used to, prior to when I had a real job, prior to this, I was the chief operating officer for, at the time, the world's largest marketing company, marketing services company. We did business-to-business marketing. And we served the Fortune 500, the Fords, the General Motors, the IBMs, the Federal Expresses of the world. And we did large-scale meetings and events, product introductions for the pharmaceuticals and whatever. And it was a great business and very enjoyable. But marketing to a Fortune 500 company is a lot different than marketing to a small company. At a Fortune 500 company, your goal is find me someone, be it a receptionist, secretary, administrative assistant, who will get you a name badge. Get a name badge, get in the door. And eventually I'll make my way to the corner office. The problem is that though that process takes sometimes 10 to 13 visits to make a sale. So when an advertising agency decides to go in, or someone like a big company looking for a big sale from a Fortune 500, it takes quite a while. As a small company, I don't have that kind of time. I figure 2 to 3 visits, and I don't have the resources. I don't have the money to go and spend that kind of money to go and try to build a proposal base. So I have to do it with warm leads, and I've got to get to the owners of my small companies quickly. So that's how I'll normally set it up. Here's a little, sure.
Do you want to talk a little bit more about the warm lead part? Is it more about the referrals for you, or?
For me, it's about, when I say the warm lead concept, it's really just how can I, first of all, cold calling, just keep the sharp objects away from me if I have to make a cold call. I hate it. And I tried it when I first started the business. I figured, this is the way I've got to do it. And I've seen all the statistics, insurance people, they make 100 calls to get 10 appointments. Of the 10 appointments, they try to make 1 sale. And that's just not my life. I just don't want to do that. So that's when I started to go to networking events and to try to basically create my warm leads. And I found that if I can get out there and I can basically be in a situation where I can meet people, greet people, and have a goal that becomes measurable, like just try to get 1 person in that room of 50 or 60 to have breakfast with me. And usually I find that breakfast is the easiest part to have with somebody, because at lunch they'll say, well, I work through lunch. I work hard all day. Okay, fine. How about breakfast? Well, I get up real early. Give me a time. 6:30, 5:30, 6. I'll get up whatever time you want to. Why don't you tell me what you want? I said, and I'll come to the closest diner to you. Where do you want to go? And after you basically have mentioned it a couple of times, they usually kind of turn back. So basically, you're building a lead. You're building that warmth in some way, manner, or form.